we touched on innovation. Okay, we did touch on disruptors here. So Brett, where do you think this innovation is happening now? When everyone's scrambling, everyone is just thinking and calculating, right? What my next 6 months gonna be? Is it big tech players? Is it smaller vendors? How do you see this whole universe?
Well, first of all, I think, again, COVID has kind of forced the hand of a lot of companies, both large and small. So they're kind of in a situation where they have to listen to their employees, whether or not they've gone through some sort of digital transformation formally. They have to listen to their employees, and they're having to do things like telework or working from home, and they're having to explore new business avenues. Some of the companies' models are completely gone, like buffet restaurants. Many of them are just saying we're done and closing. So you've got this innovation that has to take place, and it's not coming from the boardroom, and it's not coming from the C-suite. It's coming from their employees. They're saying, hey, here's an idea. Here's an area we could explore. Here's something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and no one's listened to me yet. And now they're listening, because companies are saying, we're in trouble if we can't find a way through this. And so a big part of that innovation is coming from one of the tenets of digital transformation, which is listening to your staff members. And part of digital transformation is also to create a culture within your organization of fostering innovation and invention and iteration of the company, to be open to change. So you have a culture of change. Prior to COVID, and certainly during it, most companies viewed change as a negative, a huge negative. And they wanted things to be, a model. We follow this and we earn this. And that was the business model, and that's what they're going to stick with. And that's a pre-industrial revolution 4 type thinking in business. You can't assume that your business model that works today is going to work tomorrow. And whether it's an outside company that comes in and disrupts you, or if it's something like COVID, or maybe it's something else that we haven't encountered yet, change will come. It's just a question of how you're going to respond to it. And so that innovation becomes a lifeblood for an organization. And we touched on Apple and Sony and the problem that they went through with Sony not innovating, even though they had the answer. Kodak designed and developed the digital camera, but they knew that it was going to kill off film, and so they didn't want to release it. But they had a digital camera for many years. This kind of innovation that takes place has to be done fearlessly. There's a phrase I like to use, doing a fearless personal inventory, where you look at yourself as a person and say, what do I need to do that would be better to make me into a better person? And companies need to be doing the exact same thing. And that means the executives have to be humble enough to say, hey, you know what? This worked yesterday, but it's not necessarily going to work tomorrow. So let's take a real look at what we're doing and find the best way of being a better company. And that innovation in many cases will come from their customers. If they actually speak to and listen to their customers will tell them what they need, regardless of what industry they're in. If it's B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. If you listen to your customers, they'll give you insight, and they'll give you ideas. They'll just give them to you. And it's one of the most effective ways for organizations to change.
Absolutely. Interesting that you're mentioning, because when you kind of remodeling your own house, you don't invite guests. But question will be, when you undergoing major transformational initiative as a company, okay, how do you keep your clients kind of along that path?
Well, part of it is if you're listening to your customers, you're engaging with them, you are doing exactly what they need. If you're looking to them for your innovation and saying, what is it that we could do that would really help you? Or asking your customer, this is a big thing to do in the B2B world, what is your biggest problem in your business right now? And perhaps we can find a way to solve it for you. And sometimes they can, sometimes they can't, but at least they're asking the question, and that serves to engage the customer in a new way, because you're showing them that you're interested in their business and their success, not just your own. And so that's vital. But also just the concept of listening to and engaging with your customers goes into the whole area of customer experience. And again, it doesn't matter what field you're in, it doesn't matter what your product or service is. If you're not engaging your customer, if you're not making them thrilled with what it is you're serving them or giving them or, you know, selling to them or creating for them, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're not truly engaging them and getting their love, getting their appreciation, then you're failing yourself as well as your customers. So the biggest thing is to find what your customer needs, find out where their pain points are, and create and iterate your own business around your customers to come up with solutions that will truly meet their needs and thrill them.